Good evening, Spooky Fam, and welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Mercy Desdemona. Here we have a new series called Theories of Horrors. In this series, we will be covering different theories revolved around unsolved crime, urban legends, paranormal investigations, and more. At the end of each episode, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below if you agree with any of the theories mentioned in the video or if you have a theory of your own. Your comments could be featured in the next episode in the recap. Tonight we are going to be covering Jack the Ripper. Fact or fiction? Now, we all know this case. The Ripper attacked sex workers with surgical precision, and we have no idea who the villain was. So obviously when you research this, there are a lot of theories on this case. So what I did was I picked 4 to discuss with you today in this video. I encourage you to look deep into it yourself to see if there's any theories that you think might mesh better, but today we'll cover these 4. So let's get to it. Number 1. Jill the Ripper, or the Mad Midwife. There's a theory going on that Jack the Ripper could in fact be either Jill the Ripper, or they would think that it would have to be a midwife, because you would need to understand human anatomy and surgery in order to do these killings. They do believe that it was Mary Piercy who, murdered her ex-lover's wife and child. However, I'm not really sure if it's her, but it would make sense that it could have been a woman. It would have been easier for a woman to get away back then, wouldn't have been suspected as much. So this theory, I could see, it's not too off the wall. Theory number 2, the servant girl Annihilator. We actually covered this case in an episode of True Horror, so I suggest you go ahead and watch that if you're not familiar with the case. They do believe that the murderer in the servant girl Annihilator was Jack the Ripper, and that's why they never got caught. It's just a weird timeline. This one's kind of weird and fuzzy because there's really not a lot of detail that goes into it, but again, there's no way to prove that it was or wasn't back then, so I guess this is an okay theory. Theory number 3. 4 murderers were used as a cover-up for Mary Kelly. Now this one is really interesting, and I haven't really heard this one before. In fact, the last 2 that we're going to discuss are 2 that are mighty interesting. In this one, it is said that Mary Kelly's husband got really angry that she turned to prostitution for a line of work. So what he did was he started a string of murders of fellow prostitutes and, made it seem like a pattern for the police to follow. And because of this, he was able to murder his wife undetected. Really interesting theory. I guess people back then had a lot of time on their hands to go through all this. But it makes a little sense. Jealous husband, all this stuff, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And number 4. This theory is kind of out there. And I don't know about you, but I enjoy the ones that are out there because they kind of make you critically think a little bit. But again, these are just theories. No viewpoint pushing. But there is no Ripper at all. In this theory, it is believed that the Ripper was basically a made-up, fabricated story. Evidence was fabricated and everything like that to push the sales of newspapers or media at the time. Now, this is kind of interesting. Of course, if this were true, everybody would probably lose their minds because it's not as scary as actually, the other theories where it's like, oh, was the DNA found and we have this person. There's so many theories like that where they think it's the man and that they have this DNA evidence, all this kind of stuff. But these theories, I think were the most interesting ones out of the ones that I've read. The media one is kind of interesting Because if we look at it currently, how media is kind of like the same way, how they like sensationalize things. So would they have done it back then? I can't imagine the media back then or the paper back then would just need it. They need a boogeyman to sell some paper. Maybe it was a slow news time. I don't know. But there's that theory that believes he didn't exist. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I want to know which of the theories that were discussed today do you think is true. If not any of them, let me know why. And as always, I will encourage you to share your theories down below. For more of this series, a new episode will be coming out every Thursday. The sister show True Horrors will be coming out every Tuesday. And Chamber of Horrors, the movie review series, will be coming out every Saturday from now on. I am back and ready to stay spooky. I hope you all enjoy your evening, and until next time.